The following episode of the Comics and Crypto podcast is for informational purposes only, and anything expressed by the hosts or their guests is solely their opinion. This podcast does not constitute financial advice, and anyone wishing to invest should seek their own independent financial or professional help. Have fun and enjoy the show.
Hi, I'm Sean O'Hare, and I know comics.
Hi, I'm Spencer Vogel, and I know crypto.
Hi, I'm Kevin Lee Loader, and I don't know shit. This is the Comics and Crypto podcast.
Comics and crypto, crypto and comics, collectors world in a digital age. Comics and crypto, crypto and comics, it's where the next billionaires will be made. It's comics and crypto.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Comics and Crypto podcast. Today, we are joined by one of the most wonderful leaders of the VeVe community. Her love and passion for Disney is magically infectious, and we have been so lucky to learn so much about Disney history and its fan base through her guest appearances, Twitter Spaces, and now her very own YouTube channel. Please welcome the enchanting VeVeMagic.
Hey! Hey, VeVeMagic. Welcome
What's
to
up,
the
guys?
podcast.
What's up?
So happy to
talking
be
about
here.
this-
This is fun.
We've been talking about this for a while. I'm so happy it's finally here.
It's finally here. It needed to happen.
So,
Seriously. Like
so,
Sean knows how much I am a Disney nerd, and when he was telling me, like, Roth, I have met somebody who's to the 100th power of you. I was like, all right, we got to make this happen.
I was just about to say, along with the amazing VeVeMagic, we're also joined by our good friend, probably the most talented filmmaker I've ever met, and also Disney fanatic, Roth Ryan. Hi, Roth.
What's up, dude?
We reference Roth.
Roth is no longer a ghost. He's real.
Now I'm punking your actual podcast, which is great.
I know, right? Yeah.
Well, I think this is fun. It's like, for me, this is a fun time to just get to geek out over Disney stuff with people who understand me.
Yeah.
It's so amazing. Like the first time, let's see, the last time we went to Disneyland, I think it was June 15th of last year, right, guys? It was actually us three.
Yeah.
And
Fun.
so this is really cool. We were in the hotel room. It was the Superman drop.
Oh,
That
that's
happened. We
right.
all got the Superman collectible. And then we went
Yeah.
straight to the park, and they dropped the mask mandate on June 5th, because June 15th, 2021. Because they dropped the mask
Wow.
mandate, and it was the best day ever. We had such an amazing time. Guys, that was so much fun.
Oh,
That
it was
was
so much fun.
nice.
We got really into it. We even got like there was like the live experience Star Wars app where you go around and you're like unlocking all
yeah.
the doors.
I haven't done that. How was that?
Oh,
It was
so
really
cool.
fun.
It's
It
fun.
was super interactive and like, yeah, you know, like what puzzle pieces you were kind of putting together and what you were collecting. It really did make it feel like a different experience rather than just like viewing the park and like, oh, this is
Right.
really cool production design. You actually got to be involved in the
Immersion,
land. So
yeah.
it made you feel there. Yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
Did you guys
Yeah.
do any of the other ones? Because I know I haven't done any of them, but I know there's one like where you can do stuff that actually makes the rides do certain things. Like Peter Pan, you can like get a Tinkerbell and the lamp to appear. And then once you're on the ride, she also appears in John's hat. I've never seen it because I haven't done it, but I've
Oh,
seen a
wow.
video of it.
Is this AR
Oh,
Wow,
stuff?
I had no idea.
I don't know. It's just it's the same like play at the parks that you do on the phone, and it's I have not investigated. I need
So
to.
the-
I need to spend some time investigating. But I've seen videos of it. I'm like, that's cool because that's
So
an
they-
old ride that they like
Yeah.
Yeah.
enhanced. You know.
So they're
Yeah,
adding
that'd be
even
cool.
more interaction with the rides.
Yeah.
Especially the older ones. Wow, that's such a smart move.
Check it out.
Definitely.
What a great move, right? You
Yeah.
have the technology, enhance the rides without having to remodel them. It's a
know.
brilliant move.
It's little things like
Oh.
that.
Actually, VeVeMagic, I have to ask somebody else who has been such a Disney nerd themselves. How did you feel about the slight updates that they did to the Peter Pan ride?
Which in
So
California?
it was. I think it was like 5 years ago in California, or it might have been a little longer. They added all these like kind of black light looks to the London room.
Oh, okay.
And kind of updated some of the actual set design.
Yeah, so I don't remember it so much before that. I don't know that I wrote it all that much. So that ride always has a really long wait because it's like
Yeah.
one of the most nostalgic rides, and like from opening on is at least 45 minutes basically.
Yep.
So I don't ride it all that frequently, but I do love it. And I'm trying to remember. I feel like I did a compare and contrast to the side in Florida, and I feel like California's is much better. And maybe it's because of this update, but for being such an old ride, I think it's really well done. I mean, it's super dark and you actually feel like you have all the stars around you. I mean, yeah, you can see a little bit of the other car in front of you from time to time, but all in all, like I love that ride. It makes you feel like you're actually in the movie, especially the fact that you're like in a flying boat, you know, it's really cool.
Yeah,
the mechanics of that are pretty awesome. Just the fact that it hangs from above as opposed to being like on a track below. I always thought that was cool.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And they did an update to the Snow White ride recently, and I like that update a lot because that used to be a really, really scary ride, especially for children.
Was that closed the last time we went?
It may have been closed for refurbishment, like for them remodeling it. And now it's like it actually like tells a story much clearer, and it has a lot more color, and so that one is really well done too.
Yeah,
nice.
Yeah, that was really impressive. I think I've been on it. I think.
Really?
Yes. I've been back since. Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
Oh wow. It used to be really
it was great.
Yeah.
So VeVe, VeVeMagic, how long have you been a collector, and do you focus entirely on Disney, or do you collect other IPs as well?
I can't really put a timestamp on how long I've been a collector because I never really thought of myself as much of a collector. It's just like, there are certain things that I love and that I get, but like, I don't have any like high-end collectibles, statues. You know, I don't collect stamps, coins. It's funny because VeVe has gotten me so much more into that. I've always collected popcorn buckets. That's my jam. I don't know why, but I'm obsessed with them. So I have probably like 20 of them.
Did you get the dragon one?
No.
Oh yeah, what was that dragon popcorn bucket all about?
So it's the 50th anniversary of the Main Street Electrical Parade, and so they have Elliot, which is my favorite component of the parade. I love Elliot.
That's why people waited 4 hours in line.
Yeah, that's Elliot
sense.
here is like the equivalent of what people did for Figment over in Florida. Like Elliot is everything for California. And no, I went like several times around it specifically to try to get it. And you never know when they're going to restock. That's the hard part. But I did happen to be there when they released the AT-ATs popcorn bucket. So I got that one.
Oh, really?
Thrilled.
That's
It's
so
super cool. So
that's cool.
yeah, and now they do this smart thing too, where they do a popcorn bucket and a sipper, like a cup, and you want to match them. So like this one actually has a Mike Wazowski that attaches to it, but I didn't get the cup at the time. But you could like attach them together. And then the same with the Elliot, they want you to get then the snail, and they both light up. So you have the snail from the parade, and you also have Elliot from the parade. I'm like,
that's cool.
They want you to get everything, right?
Yeah,
that's awesome.
That's
when I was a kid, the only way, because I didn't go to Disneyland until I was like 35, so I took 33 like a few years ago. But as a kid, my parents had a VHS of the Main Street Electrical Parade, and they would play it all the time. So I always remember watching that when I was a kid.
Yeah, I used to babysit my little cousin, and he was obsessed, and he could and he was only like 2 or 3 at the time, and he could recite the whole thing. Like even the interaction between Hook and Peter Pan, like he had it all down. I'm like, that's impressive.
That is really cool.
So yeah, it's very nostalgic for me. That's probably my favorite parade of all of them.
They had a VHS back when I was a kid where it was like a day at Disney, and it like opened with Mickey Mouse like just in the costume walking down Main Street.
Yes.
I think I know this video.
And then you would go on like every ride throughout the day, and they even like all the little experiences. They showed Fantasmic, which was my favorite growing up. Like I was the kid who like I hated waiting in line, period. But if it meant waiting for 3 hours to go see Fantasmic in the front, I would do it.
Yeah.
Wait, is this the video at the end too in the haunted house? Do you see all the villains are dancing around?
Yeah, you definitely see that.
You remember that video?
Yeah.
Do you guys remember this? We put that on. We almost broke the tape.
It's the sing-along, right?
The sing-along one, yeah.
Oh no, the one I had didn't have a sing-along. It was literally like experiencing the park. Whoa. And they did like this like high quality film of the whole thing, like even the Matterhorn, you know, Snow White and all the different experiences. And then at the end of the day, you know, you had the classic thank you for coming to Disneyland voice And Mickey's like walking down Main Street, like helping the janitor clean up and that kind of stuff. It was really cool. I just remember we like wore out that tape.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Nice. So there's a fascinating distinction between investing and collecting. How do you find this balances out on the VeVe app? Do you focus more on one over the other?
I think I'm probably equally spread, probably stronger on the collecting side. And it's hard because it started as investing and it sort of transitioned and snowballed into collecting, because it's like now I view every collectible as like my baby. It's like, I can't sell my baby. Why would I want to do that? So the intent was to invest. But I still hold true to that with certain items. There's certain ones that I definitely like either stacked or purchased knowing that there's value, but me not being so tied to it. So yeah, I would say I'm probably like 60-40, 60 collecting and 40% investing at this point.
That's a good balance though, right? It's just
Yeah.
important, like especially on the VeVe app, having that, you know, because the way I describe myself, I'm a collector with investor mindset.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
I love the things that I buy, but at the same
Right.
time, you know, the ROI is always nice too.
Yeah, for sure. I would describe myself the same. I did want to get back to the collecting for a second, because there are a couple of things that I do collect. So the buckets, and then I have an obscene amount of ears. Let's not even talk about that.
Oh, man.
But as I've been doing stuff on the app, I have gotten more into, like, I go into the art stores almost every time I'm there now, and I never used to do that ever. And so like I pay attention to like coins. So like this one had Walt on it, so I had to get it. And it's like 5,000 mints. And I got, of course, I made them go in the back and get me a number that had 33.
No way. That's
so
I'm like, can you go see if there's any better numbers?
That's rad. And
then I also love to get ornaments, but I don't have like a specific strategy. I just get ornaments that speak to me in some way.
Yeah.
And I just have these two because I haven't put them out in storage yet. But I have a Mary Poppins with the penguin.
Oh, that's awesome.
So cool.
It's just so stinky.
That's sweet.
And then my last one I just got is the Enchanted Tiki Room. And
that's rad.
Yeah, it's super legit. And it's like really detailed and everything too. And I got that because we made a tiki room in our backyard. And so it's just to kind of tie to that. And the tiki room, I have a sign, I have the bamboo. It looks really cool. So this is my other collection. So it's like nothing like all that great. And then I have been collecting some like art pieces and stuff. I almost got a Steamboat Willie that came with a coin with it in the frame, and I hesitated and I didn't get it. And the next time I went, it was gone.
Wait, is this the Hallmark Steamboat Willie?
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, but it was in the shop, the art shop in actually where I picked up this watch in California Adventure, and I should have gotten it, man. It wasn't even that expensive, and I was like, I really don't need it. I want it, and then I went back. I'm like, now I'm kicking myself.
Yeah.
So
speaking
what?
to your Mickey mouse ears collection, did you end up getting any of the like LED light up ones that they have in California Adventure?
I have one that has it's shaped like ears, but it's plastic, and then inside is like the Mickey Mouse shaped balloons, and they light up.
Okay,
so those are cool. I'm trying to think. I don't think I have any other light up ones,
because they had a pair that, like, you know, everybody like at night they would bring out the cart and it's like all the light up toys and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
They had the pairs that would like, they go blue, green, red, and they just shift between the hues. And then what like blew me away with those ears is if you had them at World of Color, they all sunk up to World of Color.
Yeah, I remember that.
Everybody's Mickey ears would just like sync up, and they would change
with this stuff.
Color.
That's right. I didn't get those, but I
so
remember
cool.
them.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's crazy tech too, right? That's just
I was like, and it was like so hidden, you didn't have any idea. You just thought you were getting light up ears, and then all of a sudden at World of Color, I was like, that's genius. Of course, they're expecting people.
It's like the new iteration of like having lighters, you know?
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. Yeah, it's really cool. So when you were collecting art pieces, and you're finding yourself digging into VeVe specifically. Are you finding yourself leaning towards stuff that you're more passionate about and nostalgic for that you're stacking, or is it more on the ROI side of things?
I would say mainly ROI, because a lot of the things that I'm really passionate about are pricey because everybody sees value in those. So I remember buying what I thought was like the low at the time, buying like 2 Steamboat Ultra Rares, 4 commons, 4 uncommons. Of course, now the price is lower than I bought everything at, but that's okay. Like, I'm just hanging on to them. And then like I got a few Elsas, I got several trucks, several Wallies. But then there's like other things that I feel like are super undervalued, that I stacked more because I just see them, over time appreciating so much, like Black Panther. I have like a very healthy stack of zombie Captain America, the zombie Hunter Spider-Man, that kind of stuff. So I kind of look at both, but obviously ROI, if I can get something cheap and get a lot more of it, and I think it's going to appreciate, then that's easier for me to obtain.
Yeah. I mean, Sean has always spoke to, doing your own research and finding out what's going to be worthwhile and is going to hold. So what, when you were stacking these things, what's making you decide on, I think this is going to have value? Like, you specifically talked about like the zombie Marvel collectibles and that kind of stuff. What spoke to you in that sense?
Yeah. So popularity for one, of character, like any iteration of Spider-Man, I think is probably going to hold some sort of value because he's like, one of the most popular superheroes of all time. So even other types of Spider-Man are going to hold value, because if somebody sees, a Spider-Man common for $300, $400, $500 and they can't afford it, then okay, they can go down and get the Hunter that's a fraction of the price. So I look at that. And then I also do like to pay attention when I'm at the parks and kind of look into what kind of marketing they're doing. And when I see characters roaming the parks, meaning they had a clear marketing plan and strategy, and they spent the time, resources, casting to hire actors to play these roles, make costumes for them, schedule them, that to me says that maybe this character is going to be around for a while. And so it's like, zombie Captain America was out at Halloween, and it's a really good costume. It looks exactly like the NFT, like
That's
to a
cool.
T.
That's awesome.
Yeah, to the point where you can have them side by side and you can't even tell the difference. Like, it's really good. So I just that one jumped out at me for that reason. And so I do pay attention to that kind of stuff. And then also the quality, like there's NFTs, like I'm not like a zombie person, but I just looked at those and just thought they looked so cool and so unlike anything else we had, that I was like, I want a bunch of those. Those are awesome. Can you imagine if we're in like, a metaverse and I can have just like an army of zombies? Cool.
Kevin, you like that, right?
Yeah.
Kevin's a big zombie
yeah.
guy.
I'm
Massive
a
zombie
huge
guy.
zombie guy. So.
I need an army of zombies to fight my army of stormtroopers.
And then
nobody's going to hit anybody.
Zombie stormtroopers. Nice.
It's so interesting that I've heard the CEO of Disney, Bob Chapek, talk very often about how he's looking to connect the physical and digital spaces. Do you think it's inevitable that these Disney NFTs are going to have utility tied to the park?
I personally do. I don't have any like way to back that up, but just from my experience and the things that I see, I'm trying to remember, we were just talking about this, that, they have certain days where you go and pick up like a button, like it's the anniversary of Star Wars. And so if you go that day to the park, they have a commemorative button. Who's to say that they don't do away with that and they make it digital? Because then you just get an NFT button or patch or POAP that you were here this day, and that's your commemorative piece. Like, it just, for me, seems like a natural progression of where we're going with technology and these NFTs, and that, everything is going to be an NFT in some way or shape or form moving forward. And so it might start off small like that, and it could grow into other things. I mean, I see, potential of holding these NFTs, giving you access or, specific perks when you're at the parks, or, maybe they tie it into revamping another new annual pass program or ticket program. There's different tiers based on what you have. I mean, there's just like, I just feel like the possibilities are limitless, and there's a ton of opportunity that can make them a lot of money and make more of us collectors.
Yeah. It checks off all the boxes in my mind.
Right.
Having the opportunity to market these things, having them tied to the park, it just would feel like a huge miss by Disney if they didn't figure out ways to add utility to this.
Well, especially with the app now, being able to, like you guys said, having fun at the park with your app. And if they can tie now the NFTs into, fun at the park and finding NFTs, or, you go and you scan something, yours pops up, or you experience it now in a ride or pre-show to a ride. Like, I just feel like there's so much they can do with it.
What's really cool? We were in Disneyland in June. All three of us were walking around the park, and we went on It's a Small World, and we were thinking, there's no one in line right now for this ride. There's not really lines for It's a Small World, but what if they added some type of utility to the ride where you can actually get an NFT that's dropped using like geolocation? So if you're on the ride, you actually get an NFT, a collectible, and you can go to different parts of the park and you get different NFTs or digital collectibles based on where you're at.
Yeah.
I mean, that would probably pack the ride, right? People would be excited about that. Yeah.
Yeah. And just they can do any sort of day or marketing event or specific NFT, and people are going to flock to the parks for it. I mean, people already flock to the parks when they hear about certain, look at me going for popcorn buckets, when they hear that certain merch is dropped, or, there's a festival going on, they always have festivals, and people flock for certain activities and things, or getting a collectible piece that's only, limited quantity or available for, that day, checking in. And there are button collectors. I do have a lot of buttons. That's another collection I have. And I just, people would flock for that kind of stuff.
Yeah. That's so
Have you ever gotten the pickle pin?
No.
So if they sell those big pickles at the park.
Oh yes, I'm a fan.
So if you are there at the opening and you run to the pickle cart and you're there first, they will give you a pickle pin.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Like you bought the first pickle of the day. I
might have to do that.
Nice.
You actually do find yourself racing against people though to get
that
to
is so funny. I've gotten like a honorary member of Disneyland that has like a key on it, and I have gotten some like special ones that they don't just hand out. Like there was one time my son was really upset because he went to get measured for cars and he was just a hair shy, and we went to have lunch and he was just sobbing, and they felt so bad that they came and brought him at the time they were doing these, it was kind of like a popcorn bucket. It was Lightning McQueen, and it opened up and it had like your food inside, and they just brought him an empty one and then like gave him a pen as well. And like, because they felt bad. I mean, that's we had talked before about like some of the talking points, and like if this metaverse stuff gets super as detailed as it has the potential to, is it going to stop people from going to the parks? And my answer is no, because those are the reasons like I go to the park, is those special moments, and the cast members, humans, are the ones that make those moments special. I mean, every time I go, when I go with friends and family, their children remember moments they had with their favorite superhero or their favorite character. They don't remember the ride so much, which the rides are great, but it's the memories that they make being there in person with their family. And like, there's so many times that I see these kids just light up at like their favorite superhero hugging them or talking to them, or cast member I've heard so many stories of a cast member making their time so special. And that magic, I don't think will go away.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so fascinating. And along with the utility for the physical space, what about in the like the potential metaverse? Like what kind of you guys are
I
glowing
get
right
really
now.
excited about
I know.
this.
Yeah. I'm really excited to hear your thoughts on that. Like what could we
Yeah.
possibly be seeing?
I've got to actually get my notes because I don't want to forget.
I love it. I love it.
But let's see. So I haven't like spent a lot of time thinking about it, but just in the short time, I had to like make myself like stop because I was getting just so jazzed. But everyone wants this feeling of like exclusivity. Like, well, we want to be members of Club 33 because we have a waltz. And it's like, no, it doesn't work like that. Like we all want that, of course, but that's just, it doesn't work that way. You know, could there be ticket mechanisms and stuff? Sure. Like, you know, there's plenty of options, but there are a lot of things that could be done in the metaverse. You know, right now as a pass holder, I can go to like a lounge at both parks, and other people that aren't, you know, if you guys went and you don't have an annual pass, you can't go in there unless you're with me. So metaverse, we could have exclusive clubs, you know, for people that have a full Spider-Man set, or people that have a full Golden Moment set, or just even one Disney NFT. And you could have specific clubs where everyone can meet up. Now, then I got like crazy in my head thinking, okay, you have things like Cameo right now, right? Where you can pay a celebrity to wish your best friend happy birthday. And it's an actual experience where, oh my gosh, this person knows my name, you know, blah, blah, blah. Well, what if for like movie promotions and premieres and all these things in the future, you actually get to meet these people in the metaverse? Like they're there, you can't touch them, so they're safe, right? It's not like a that kind of experience, but they're there, their avatar's there, their voice is there, and you're actually meeting like your favorite actors and stuff. And maybe that's a utility of owning your NFTs, is that you get to be at this club and meet, you know, Tom Holland. That'd be awesome. Wow. Right?
Yeah.
Parade performances, fireworks shows. There's going to be that stuff in the metaverse, right? What if you have a front row seat at the castle and everyone else has to just find space and crowd around? And then rides. If there's rides and there's like lines for these rides, I don't know how it's going to work. It's like so far out of, I'm not a technical person, but you know, what if you do get a fast pass because you own a Disney NFT or a Marvel NFT or Star Wars NFT? It just gets me excited. Like there's just so many cool things they could do.
There's some really cool footage I saw recently from Unreal Engine. And Unreal Engine, Kevin and Roth probably should dive more into this one. They know much more about that than I do. But
you sent me that video, right?
Yeah.
Like,
can you imagine that kind of technology or that kind of those kind of graphics in VR?
Super
like
real.
Actually, so photorealistic. As exciting as that is, would that take away from actually visiting in person? Would that discourage people from wanting to actually go visit in person?
I just think it's really encouraging for people that can't, because there's so many people around the world that probably dream of going to a Disney park and they can't. They just can't make it happen for whatever reason, you know, financially, whatever. And for them to be able to experience something like that, I just think is a huge draw, and there's a lot of potential for success there. But it still doesn't stop people from wanting a real world experience. But people are probably going to start wanting more and more tech when they're in the real world experience, right? Getting to interact with things there. That's a really good point.
You know, a good analogy.
To go along with what you're saying, Sean, it's like, I think that is the equivalent of what Google Earth was when it came out for people who couldn't like travel the world or not going to see certain things. Is they like Google Earth, you could go zoom in, there was 360 panos, and suddenly you're standing in Yosemite National Park, you're standing in Yellowstone, you're standing at Niagara Falls. Like there's all these, like all of a sudden you could have that full experience. And I think that's going to be what it's like for people to be able to experience these rides in the metaverse.
It almost might make people want to go even more.
Yeah. Great point, Roth. And when people buy their digital comic books on VeVe, they now want to own the physical counterpart.
Exactly.
And they're excited about it. And now they're excited about collecting the physicals. So for the majority of people are, man, there was somebody who just tweeted out the other day, he just bought his first comic book, and it was X-Men 1, which is a grail. It's worth $500,000 more in its highest grade. Probably about a little over $2 million in its highest grade. It's the X-Men 1 first appearance of the X-Men, Professor Xavier, Magneto. It's wild.
Wow.
And Yeah, and he got a 4.0 grade, which is probably about a $15,000 to $20,000 comic, and that's his first comic, and he got it because of VeVe. Because he's passionate about VeVe. Yeah,
That is
it's
awesome.
I
And
never
that's a
even
perfect
knew
example.
like all these comics existed. Truly, I had no idea. And then it's like I got that Star Wars comic, and I'm like, I want one now. Like that's the first one that I actually wanted to match was the Star Wars one. I'm like, this one is like special for me.
That's
And
so cool.
but yeah, I never. First of all, I didn't know so many existed, and I never particularly wanted one, but I do now.
And it's so cool. You landed your first secret rare with Star Wars on the drop.
Yeah, for comics,
Oh,
yes.
nice.
My first secret.
Wow.
That's incredible.
That's super
Wow,
cool.
what a great one to land.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No kidding.
That was the one for me for sure. I mean, obviously, Marvel Comics #1 or Spider-Man would have been my other two picks, but
It's like a
I just
lame
love
secret rare
those
Marvel Comics
covers.
one like Roth.
Wow. That's awesome.
But
I didn't know
yeah.
what I had. Sean was trying to get me to get into this stuff, and I was like, I don't want to spend $7.
Oh, it's so
digital
funny.
I can never hold.
Try to get Roth involved in this in the very beginning, like me preaching it every day. It's just nonstop, just pounding in his head about VeVe. Like,
He's like, dude, if you want me to put $7 just so you can be quiet, I'll do it. And then I
Look
like
at you
did it.
now.
And then I got the drop, and I remember getting it and going like, well, that's cool, I guess. And I screenshotted it and I sent it to him. I was like, hey, is this any good? And he's like, if you sell that comic, I will kill you. You know? Oh, okay.
Oh man.
Good advice. Good advice.
Yeah. He said it in a much nicer way. I'm over exaggerating, but you know.
I said it over in his bed while he was sleeping.
Yeah.
Whispered in his ear.
just whispers.
If you sell this comic, I will kill you.
I can see that.
It's so funny too, you know, the visiting the parks in person, like you mentioned. I remember your first, by the way, congratulations on your YouTube channel.
Thank you.
Yes, I'm so happy that you've created a YouTube channel. The world needs more VeVeMagic.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah,
I was really nervous to do it.
So excited for you. It was so great. And you interviewed Silicon Secure, who's an amazing member of the community. Big shout out to Silicon. And there was a really cool moment where you guys talked about during COVID. You know, the parks were closed for a good year to 2 years, but you were able to experience that park because of the walkthrough videos.
Which I was like so mean about. Like, I always thought people were so dumb for doing that because there's always the one person on the ride that's filming the whole thing. And I'm just like,
What's the point?
why?
Enjoy it. Yeah.
Yeah. And I literally could not understand it. And then, those people saved my life during COVID because it's just, you know, especially with children during COVID, you needed to keep finding ways to entertain them. And what was hard is, I don't know if you guys remember, but we tried to like go to the dollar store and stuff to get arts and crafts, just anything to keep them. And you could only get basic food and necessities at stores. They wouldn't let you get, they roped off art supplies. And I'm like,
wow,
this is a necessity. You guys don't understand. Like, my kids will bounce off the walls. And so it's like, we were always, and I feel terrible for people that like live in apartments in busy cities where they can't just, you know, I'm fortunate to have a yard, but for people that didn't have the space to let their children play, like, what did these people do? And, you know, we did turn to YouTube and we missed the park so much that I'm like, well, let's go watch the rides and feel like we're there. And it made you feel like that way. And so, yeah, like think about what can happen with the metaverse and being able to feel like you're really at the parks with the immersion.
Yeah, that's so
That's
cool.
really cool.
It's
That
so
is
funny
really
because
cool.
my mom actually did the same thing.
Like last year during COVID.
Yeah, and she's just watching people walk around the park. Just watching people walk around the park. I'm like, Mom, what are you watching? She's like, oh, it's a walkthrough video at Disneyland. And no joke, this is hilarious. Maybe about 20 minutes in, I look up and my dad walks in. He's like, is that Aunt Linda? It's my mom's best friend from college. And she's walking by with her kids. And we're like, what the hell is going on?
She wasn't filming the video. She was in the video.
She was in the video. And we're watching on
that's
YouTube.
crazy.
It was pure coincidence. Yeah. Pure coincidence. It was so funny. It was so funny.
That's wild.
But yeah, those walkthrough videos, man, that
Yeah.
you're totally on point. And it kind of speaks volumes about the potential future where this all can go. If people are enjoying that, man, if you can actually be interactive.
Some of
gonna
those
be a really
videos
fun
have
thing.
hundreds and thousands, if not millions of views of just,
Yeah.
yeah, we would watch parades and stuff too. Like there was one parade that was brand new right before COVID, really, really cool parade called Magic Happens. And I was fortunate enough to actually be on a tour as my last visit to the parks before they closed. And so I got to have like a seat front row with that parade, and the characters actually came over and like, you know, touched my children and stuff as they're going by. And so like, what a way to go out. But that parade only got to run, gosh, probably like 2-3 weeks, and then the parks closed. And can you imagine how much money goes into these parades? And the floats were really, really well done, like, you know, new technology, and really impressive. I hope that one comes back. I'd love to see that one like over the summer or something. But so they, you know, Disney likes to tape all of their events, and they have started putting them on Disney Plus. And so we went on Disney Plus and we would watch the parade over and over and over, you know? So they're even kind of seeing the trends that people want to see this stuff even when they're not there. I mean, I'd almost rather, you know, my kids see some of these, you know, parades and shows and stuff than be just sucked into like a cartoon all day, you know? Like I'd rather them get more of an experience feel with what they're watching in media.
Yeah,
That's really cool.
yeah. There was a video that was going around, I remember during COVID, and it was one of my favorite videos of the dad putting his kid in the bin and then playing the roller coaster at Disneyland on TV. It was like moving the kid around the bin. The kid is having the best time. It's like the most adorable video. I was like, that's how you do it.
Yeah, we went through a lot of cardboard boxes because we get pretty animated, and so we tear up a lot of cardboard boxes in the process. And we'd have to like make a stack because you want it to have like, you want it to feel like it has shocks and stuff, right? You don't want to just be on the ground sliding around. So you put it on like a mountain of pillows, and then it's like really a roller coaster. And I was saying in my last video that we would do, and so we would do it to the actual ride and try and, you know, simulate it and everything. And then, you know, Splash Mountain, you have to have water effects. So I have a spray bottle spraying the kids, and they loved it. They're like, more. I'm like,
they're not just for the cats.
Right?
Nice. I use it on Sean every time he comes over and he's like, hey, Roth, there's new NFTs.
Yeah.
Right.
Joke's on him. I love water.
Well, I got a question for you. So since you've been collecting on VeVe for a while here, and I think there's going to be there's still new users coming to the platform. Do you feel like there's anything that you've learned, mistakes you've made, or anything that you would pass on to new users, like when they're coming in to invest in NFTs?
I don't really regard myself as having made too many mistakes. Of course, there's things I could have done better and different. But, you know, overall, I'm happy with my collection. Of course, I wish it was up like everybody else. Yeah, but you know, I'm not worried because I'm here for the long haul. So I'm willing to be patient and keep buying when I have the opportunity. I would say that, you know, try not to fall into like the FOMO, you know, unless it's something you have to have. If it's a piece you have to have, then, and you're willing to do whatever it takes. And even if that piece sinks like a ship, then, you know, then be okay with that. Like, that's how I feel about certain pieces I have, but, you know, all my golden moments and stuff, they can go to zero, and I'm okay with that. Like, because I love those pieces. There's other pieces that if I got and they go down, I'm like, oh, I bought at the wrong time. And I'm a little like, dang. But, you know, there can be a lot of FOMO that gets to you if you are immersed in the community, which I recommend because I think it's important to know what's going on. But, you know, people can get really excited about a piece or a comic or whatever, and it can create sort of a frenzy. And, you know, if it's not something you care about that much, then just try to tailor that to yourself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because that's happened to me where somebody's talking about something. I'm like, oh, this is important. This is important. And then I have to be like, stop myself. Like, I didn't care about this until I started listening. So is it really that important? You know, that would be like kind of my advice. And just, just being comfortable with what you're buying. You have to listen to your instincts on that a lot too. And research, obviously.
Yeah, right. You know what kind of kills me too is when people, when they say they're upset with VeVe, or I give up on VeVe, I'm selling my collectibles, I'm done with VeVe. What people don't understand and need to understand is that Disney owns the IP. Disney owns the licensing to these collectibles. We own the assets, they own the licensing rights. So no matter whatever, I mean, I fully believe in VeVe and I'm very excited for their future. But if VeVe did go belly up, Disney would still own these and they would still be on the Ethereum blockchain.
It's not like they're going to just disappear out of your wallet overnight.
Yeah. Exactly.
You own them.
I've seen so many posts on that. It's crazy. It blows my mind that people still think that.
I know.
You're giving up on some of the most important NFTs possibly in history, in my opinion.
They'll always be the first. It doesn't matter if Disney wants to go do something else. Like they'll always be the first. You can't argue that.
Yeah. I mean, there's just a lot of frustration that's directed towards VeVe, and seeing the values go down, and unfortunately I think it's just being misplaced, and so of course that misplaced judgment is getting thrown at the brands we all love, and as you said, they're gonna be here, so it's not like they're going anywhere. If it hops off of VeVe and goes to another platform, you're still gonna have it.
Yeah, and the thing that I get a little frustrated too is people are upset because we're not getting more users, and yet they want all these things, right? They want MTL, they want MCP, they want all these things that we're gonna get, right? It takes time to develop these, but then in the same token, they're upset that we don't have more users, and why is VeVe doing no marketing? Now, why would you market this right now?
Right.
When it's not ready for that amount of people? It's just plain logic. VeVe is doing the right thing. They're getting everything out that needs to happen. And then they're going to let the marketing roll out. I mean, David, you said it on that video with Randy, where he said, basically, I kind of told our partners, like, hold back a little bit. Like we're not ready for the users. I mean, he's transparent about that, and that was my gut instinct, is that VeVe's like, no, we don't want to market, like, and I think that's the right move, because if they have all these people come in and it's the user base right now times 10, and then you have all those people that are now demanding things, how much worse could it get? That's when problems like really, really happen. Like this stuff is like, yes, it's important, but again, we're all here in the beginning, and we're helping, and we're on the ground floor, sort of almost building this together with them. And that's what people need to realize, is like, this has never been hugely marketed, because it's still in its infancy.
Yeah, people are truly not taking advantage of the moment. They are not looking at what's coming in the future, and I think a lot of it too is just this: they haven't done their own research.
Well, and the same thing's going to happen. That happened with Golden Moments is that once people realize that all these things have rolled out, you are going to get a huge slew of people that come in, and those prices that are here now are gone. Like this will be a thing of the past, and it'll be the same thing again. Oh, well, you guys are all pumping, Golden Moments now that they're in thousands. Where were you when they were 200? We were buying them.
100%.
We saw opportunity, and it's like, this is like history repeating itself. Like, don't miss out. If you are worried about where the company is going, and you haven't done the research there, and you maybe don't believe in the leadership, then I think invest your money elsewhere. But if you are like me, and I first of all believe in the team and the vision, I think these people are brilliant. And then I also see these multi-billion-dollar companies all in one place. What other NFT project or brand or company has what VeVe has? How many other companies have Coca-Cola, DC, Marvel, Disney? I mean, you name it.
Yeah.
What James Bond, like where do all of these companies come to the same place anywhere else except for like retail stores, you know, like in this NFT space, this is unheard of.
And the best part too was when Quid and Wax, they're really upset because Disney told them apparently that they can't mint their NFTs or mint their collectibles. They're not NFTs, they're collectibles.
Nice try.
Yeah, they told them no. Sorry.
Yeah.
I mean, if that doesn't get you more bullish, man, I don't know what will. Like,
Exactly.
they literally told Quid, you cannot mint those. We're only working with VeVe. And I expect them to branch out over time, but right now they're all in on this company.
That's
Mhm.
amazing.
Shows, and they're still continue to drop significant IP. And I mean, at the end of the month, Obi-Wan is dropping the show, and who's in Obi-Wan? Well, Obi-Wan, but also Darth Vader. Guys, I'm feeling it. I think Vader's going to be dropped by the end of the month. What do you guys think?
I do too.
It's hard for me to speculate
We'll
on these things.
Yeah.
It really is because you know, it's easy to say like obviously they're going to do something around Star Wars, right? But there was a lot of speculation around May the 4th be with you, and we didn't get a lot.
Well, they said that this is going to be a month thing. It's not going to be just May 4th. It's going to be May is going to be, and I that's when I knew. Oh, okay. Wait, what's coming at the end of the month? Oh, Obi-Wan is. Oh, okay. Well, who's Darth Vader's in that? He's a big character in that show,
Right?
So it makes total sense to drop that. I mean, they've been very like spot on with their marketing, aligning those characters or even the comics. You know, like Strange Tales 110 dropped when Doctor Strange dropped, and America Chavez FA comic dropped when she's in that. She's a new character. Next month, I mean, like we're seeing the new Thor film too, Love and Thunder, and I fully expect we could potentially see his FA comic, which is a Grail. So a lot of exciting things ahead.
So, well, to speak to golden moments and all, and the Disney collectibles, is there any Disney, or are there any Disney collectibles that you are really hoping for to drop on the VeVe app? Like something that stands out, you're like, oh man, I cannot wait to see this.
I mean, it's hard because I will say we have gotten so much incredible stuff already that like I'm thrilled to death, and especially like being so early, being able to obtain these items.
Sure.
So love that, happy about that. I was thinking about this question because it's been hard for me to answer, like what else do I want, because I've gotten so much that I like. And months ago, I don't know if you tweeted about it, Sean, or you did it in a video or what, but you had talked about ride posters, and I think those would be so fun.
Yeah.
Like, because when you walk under the arches to Main Street, when you walk in the park, there's all those ride posters on either
Old
side.
ride posters,
And I love looking at them. They're so nostalgic. I mean, those are like collectibles. Like, I'd love to have those like throughout my house. So I'd love to see those. I love Sully. I'd love to have a Sully to go with Mike. I'd love like a Chewbacca. I love like the animal characters. I love all the like furries. And then I also think a really iconic piece that I would love to have animated is Cinderella doing her spin, because that's gave me chills because that's Walt Disney's favorite piece of animation. So
when she turns into the dress,
where she goes from her rags to her ball gown, and it's the animation of it. I would love, that would be so hard to do, I imagine, but if you could create a 3D rendering of that transformation, oh my God, that would be amazing.
That would be
actually fun. Would that be hard, guys? You're talking to the right people.
The short answer,
a challenge.
I guess it all depends on what the kind of space that the data would be required and how loading it on the app and that kind of stuff. Because currently it's cool, you can actually see the sizes of these 3D models that they're creating and kind of understand how much detail actually goes into them. And when you find, smaller file sizes, and you can see sometimes when you look really close at the 3D models, the lines and stuff, you can tell like where they kind of had to save in detail in order to make sure this animation can be executed properly. I know Kevin can speak a lot more to this, but I definitely have seen things where I'm like, this texture doesn't look good. Well, obviously, because they don't have a way of quite yet of like really showing it off. They don't have the powerhouse behind it yet for the masses. It's gonna get there. I mean, they're still upgrading models and collectibles all the time. We're seeing it happen. I mean, the DeLorean, when it got upgraded, we could actually drive it. That was so cool. You know?
Or the lights on the Ghostbuster car.
The lights on the Ghostbuster car.
And David said that too. Like he said in that interview, like we are going to continue to update and improve upon these models. And because there's been a couple of characters that have been getting flack for not looking amazing. And I've heard that skin is really, really hard to get the texture right on. But they're going to improve these things. And so if you like the collectible or you like the character, I encourage you to get it and have faith that improvement will come.
We're praying for you, Electra. One of the funniest posts I saw was it showed Superman Flash racing, and it said underneath, it said loser has to date Electra.
Wow.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
It's funny, man.
It's a rough looking model. It's just a rough looking model.
It's bad.
Doesn't look good. Yeah.
They pumped that one out.
I hope that one definitely gets an update.
The worst part too is like you have 5 different designs of a bad model.
Mm-hmm.
It was rough.
Yeah,
it was rough. But again, work in progress, and I'm sure they'll come back.
Yeah,
it'll get updated. I mean, I have faith that the tech will improve and it'll get updated.
Yeah.
Did you guys have a look at the Thor model? How'd you guys feel about that? Kevin, did you have a chance to look at that?
I did actually look at it. It's actually very low resolution. I was actually surprised. It looks more like a game model than any drop so far. I think he looks fine in the face until he opens his mouth. There's definitely an animation issue where he just kind of looks like a trout bass at one point with his mouth open. So it's not perfect, but again, I don't know what we don't know. Like I said, he looks more like a video game character than everyone else. Maybe this is a hint at that video game stuff. Maybe this is like that first round of that. But yeah, I don't know. I was kind of a little iffy on the model itself.
Yeah.
Well, when people get frustrated with like, well, this doesn't look like Thor, and then they have to be reminded, no, this isn't movie Thor. This is comic Thor.
Comic Thor,
And there's a whole, another drama that you get into with doing the actual movie characters because of licensing rights and what's that word? Their image, likeness rights. Thank you. They can't just. I mean, even Trevor kind of agreed with that. There's likeness rights issues, and so they can't just give you Scarlett Johansson. They can't give you Chris Hemsworth. They can't give you all these movie stars because there's lots of laws behind all that kind of stuff. And and so the comics are certainly the easier route in terms of litigation and potential issues on that front.
Absolutely. Yeah, I thought the Thor model, I felt like it did stick close to how he was drawn in the comics. And also, what's the guy got, like 3% body fat? My God, have you seen those muscles? Just like hard etched in there. I'm like, how many eggs do you eat a day, Gaston? What's going on?
At least 3 dozen.
No, now that he's old, he eats 5 dozen eggs, Sean. Come on.
Oh yeah, dang it.
You guys are good. You guys are good.
Going back to our discussion about VeVe not marketing and kind of holding back, what do you think will be one of the biggest catalysts for this app to take off? Because for me, when I think about it, localization is really big. I mean, having the opportunity to have this app be accessed worldwide is a really big deal. Especially, I mean, China. Like, can you imagine what's going to happen when China is able to access these collectibles and like fully understand and appreciate what's going on here? I mean, I think it's What are you guys' thoughts on that?
The more available you make it to billions of people, the more the better it's going to do. It's just there's limited access right now and limited marketing, and when those things get turned on, I mean, I just think this has the potential to just go light speed. I mean, it's going to be like, what just happened? I just feel like there's going to be a day where you're going to look around and be like, what just happened?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And the technology too, right, guys? Like
Yeah.
AR glasses. I mean, we know they're coming.
Right.
Yeah.
Did you guys see the Google ad the other day?
Yeah, I did. It's pretty
No.
interesting.
I don't think I saw it.
It was a beautiful video that showed a mother and daughter, and the mother speaks Mandarin, I believe, and the daughter speaks English, so they can't communicate. But they put on these glasses, this prototype glasses from Google, and they're able to talk to each other eye to eye and actually have subtitles.
Wow.
They can actually communicate back and forth and actually understand exactly what they're saying to each other.
Oh,
And,
nice.
they're getting emotional, and it's I mean,
Can you
what a
imagine,
great
like,
introduction.
Cool.
Being able to travel and stuff, and
Yeah.
if you don't know the language, you know,
Massive.
assuming that other people have the glasses, how much easier it will be just to even travel to, you know, I have hesitation to travel to other countries because I don't know the language, and I don't want to be a snooty American that like, well, you should know, like, you know, like,
Yeah.
you know, they don't need to know English. It's not their language. And so I hesitate because I want to, you know, be appropriate and communicate in the right way. But that would be huge to take that limitation away, you know?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, definitely. And also playing with your lightsabers. Right,
Yes.
Kev?
Have
is
you
a
seen
massive
that they
lightsaber.
made a model that like actually
Yes.
you just
Oh,
have,
yeah.
and like
They
it's a
haven't
real
officially-
lightsaber?
they haven't officially released it yet, though. But like that prototype was impressive.
So
Super.
what that lightsaber is for? It's for the Star Cruiser. So they use that during their live shows. So what it is Rey comes out, the lightsaber extends, but then she has to like put it down and pick up a real one in order to fight because I guess it's very very fragile. So unfortunately, that's never going to come to the public. I guess it's just it was made just for.
Oh,
that
I thought it was
specific-
going to be released to the public.
No,
Bummer.
unfortunately.
I was
that
like,
crushes
boy, those
my
things would
heart.
sell like crazy.
Yeah. They would,
Well-
but unfortunately, I guess they're very fragile and they'd break instantly.
There it is.
Womp womp.
Yep.
That actually be really cool if they did like a avatar project, like a 10,000 avatar project. You know, kind of like the Bat Cows, but do it with lightsabers. And they have different
I'd
designs
be
and different.
so in.
I'm
for that.
way in.
That'd be
I'm way
fun.
in. Yeah,
That'd be super
that's super
fun.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then all the things you could do with it, like, you know, go into the metaverse and actually battle and use your lightsaber, or like you're given, you know, sort of the Bathouse situation, you're given challenges and you have to like work as a team and then go fight all the stormtroopers to, you know, save somebody or whatever. That'd be fun, right?
Yeah,
That's
definitely.
awesome.
You know, and
Magic.
I could see technology going to a place where like you actually could use the Force in the metaverse, but it's based off of how your heart rate is doing and
Oh,
how
God.
like your adrenaline is pumping, and being able to like actually stay calm and patient, and it's measuring all that stuff and actually giving you the powers in the
That's
metaverse
wild.
based off of how your body is actually reacting.
And the
That
angrier
would be
you
really
get,
cool.
it like reacts
Scary.
more like on the dark side.
Dude, that is
Yeah,
scary.
yeah, yeah.
It reads
If
into
you're
your
super angry and you're super aggressive, then you're on the dark
Yeah.
side. You can use like that kind of
Yeah.
force. Yeah.
it's like
Yeah.
it's like Moon Knight. You have to like balance your scales, make sure
Yeah.
your emotions
That's
are
like what I'm
balanced.
thinking.
It's like a mood ring for the metaverse, you know?
Precisely. That's amazing.
Nice.
Well, I'm excited to see more content popping up on your channel. Congratulations on the start. It was a great interview to start right off the bat
Thank you.
with. So excited to see where this goes for you.
Appreciate that. Thanks, guys.
And thanks so much for coming on today. There's
Yeah,
so
Oh,
much
thank you for
seriously.
having me. I've been
Yeah,
looking forward to this for a while. So
Everyone out there, if you haven't already, make sure to follow VeVeMagic at VeVeMagic on Twitter, and also her YouTube channel, VeVeMagic.
yay.
Don't forget to stay awesome and remember, the moon, let's go to Mars. Music is by NineFinger. Make sure to check out their music at NineFinger.com. And you can follow them on Instagram at NineFinger999. Be sure to check them out and send them some love.